Good evening, everybody. Welcome to your math lesson of the day. Today we're going to be learning about circumference. There are two formulas that we discovered in class today to find the circumference. Those formulas are shown here. One is C equals pi times diameter, and the other one is C equals 2 pi r. Now, it doesn't matter to us whether or not you choose or kind of associate or latch on to one or the other. Personally, I latch on to the C equals pi d. It just makes more sense to me. However, for you, you can pick whichever one you like. Now, these two formulas can be interchangeable because they are actually equivalent formulas. The reason why they're equivalent is because two radii make up one diameter. So if you have one diameter that goes all the way across, that's your diameter. A radius would go halfway across. And if you have two of the same length radius, see how two radius make up one diameter? Therefore here, for why are these formulas equivalent, it would be because two radii, that's plural for radius, make up one diameter. That's why these two formulas are equivalent and interchangeable. Now, there are certain times when we might want to use one over the other. When might we want to use C equals pi d? What might the circle give us? Well, we want to use C equals pi d when we're given the diameter. Oh, that says diameter. That's when we want to use that one. When we would want to use this one is when the circle shows us or when we're given the radius. When given radius is when we want to use this formula. Okay, now we're going to use these two formulas to find the circumference of these circles that are on the inside of your foldable. Notice that it says find the exact and approximate circumference for each circle. What they mean by exact is they mean they want us to leave in terms of pi. So that means our exact answer is going to have pi in it, whereas our approximation is going to be a decimal. Okay, now whenever you get down to it and you're trying to find the circumference, my recommendation as soon as you see a circle is to identify what your radius is and what your diameter is. So this particular circle gives us the diameter of 5, and therefore we can calculate our radius by dividing by 2. So our radius is 2.5. Because this circle gave us the diameter, I think we should use C equals pi d. So we're going to rewrite, replace, recalculate. We rewrite the original formula, C equals pi d. We recalculate, so we replace the d with our known diameter, which our known diameter is 5. Then when we recalculate, the proper way to write these two numbers being multiplied is to bring 5 forward like a coefficient and treat pi like a variable. So we end up with the circumference equals 5 pi. This is the exact answer. That's because pi is an infinite number, and 5 times pi will result in an infinite number as well. So for our exact answer down here, we're going to put 5 pi, and because it's just a perimeter, our units will be centimeters. To calculate our approximation, you're going to put 5 times pi in your calculator. If you happen to get an answer of just 5 pi, so for instance, look at my calculator. If I do 5 times pi, I get 5 pi. You need to hit the double arrows and it will give you your decimal approximation of 15.70796 ... Our approximation asks us to round to nearest hundredth, so we need to round to 2 places. We're going to look at the 0 and say, okay, is the 7 telling the 0 to stay a 0 or become a 1? Hopefully you know it is telling it to become a 1, so our approximation would be 15.71 centimeters. All right, now let's do our next circle. Again, the first thing I want to do is I want to write down my radius and I want to write down my diameter. This particular circle gives you the radius. Our radius is 8. In order to calculate our diameter, we multiply that by 2 to give us a diameter of 16. Now, because this circle gave us a radius, I think we should try using this formula. Let's give it a go. Just like before, we're going to rewrite, replace, recalculate. Our rewrite is C equals 2 pi r. We know our r, so we're going to replace our r with the value that we know it is, which is 8. Now, when we recalculate, what do you think the only two things we can simplify here are? Remember, earlier I said we're treating pi like a variable. So can we multiply by pi and keep pi? No. We need to do 2 times 8 because those two can actually be simplified to be 16 and pi can come down just like a variable would. This is our exact answer because it's in terms of pi, and our units would be meters because again we're just talking about perimeter. To find our approximate, we're going to do 16 times pi in our calculators. Again, don't forget, if you do 16 times pi, it might spit out 16 pi to you, and you hit the double arrows, so you get the decimal approximation of 50.2654 ... This approximation asks us to go to the nearest hundredth, so 2 places. Does that 5 tell the 6 it wants to stay a 6 or become a 7? It will become a 7. So you have 50.27 meters. We have our exact, which is in terms of pi, and our approximate, which is our rounded decimal. All right. Now, like I said before, you can choose. We could have done this problem using c equals pi d, and we could have done this problem using 2 pi r. It does not matter which one you use. You will get the same answer regardless. If you're feeling confident, go ahead and give these two a try. If you're not, stay with me and I'll explain these two thoroughly. All right, here, again, we always start out with identifying our radius and our diameter. Here, they give us a radius of 9, which means our diameter would be twice that of 18. Now, I like c equals pi d, so I'm actually going to use c equals pi d for this one, just to show you how you use it no matter what. So we're going to rewrite, replace, recalculate. We have c equals pi times diameter. We're going to replace our diameter, so c equals pi times 18. And again, our recalculate is just writing this in proper terms where this is a coefficient and this acts like a variable. So we have 18 pi. Our exact answer would be 18 pi, and in this case, inches, because again, it's just a perimeter. Our approximation, we have to put in our calculator, 18 times pi, we get 18 pi. Double arrows, and we get that lovely decimal of c equals 56.5486 ... Our approximation here asks for the nearest tenth, so we're going to look to our tenth place and look behind it. The 4 tells the 5 to stay a 4 or become a 6. Stay a 4. So our approximation is 56.5 inches. Again, we start out by identifying our radius and our diameter in order to find our circumference. For this particular problem, they give you a diameter of 4.5. To find our radius, we do 4.5 divided by 2, which gives us 2.25. Again, to show you that you can use either one no matter what you're given, here I'm going to use the c equals 2 pi r. Again, you can use c equals pi d for everything. It's really just your choice and your preference. All right, so here we go. Rewrite, wrong color. Rewrite, replace, recalculate. We're going to rewrite c equals 2 pi r. When we recalculate, we will replace the r with our known radius, which is 2.25. And now when we recalculate to get our exact answer in terms of pi, we do 2 times 2.25, which gives us 4.5. We end up with 4.5 pi. This is our exact answer, and our units are feet because, again, we're just talking about perimeter. Let's get our exact. 4.5 times pi. Oh, wow, it actually just gave us the decimal this time. So now we know C equals 14.13716 ... If we want to approximate to the nearest tenth, we will look at our tens place and look behind it. So does that 3 tell the 1 to stay a 1 or become a 2? It should become a 1, stay a 1, not become a 1, stay a 1, which gives us 14.1 feet. A couple of things I want to point out. Whenever you use the 2 pi r, notice you end up at pi d anyway. So if you like this, you can absolutely do it, but it does just kind of add an extra step because we always end up at the pi d. It does not matter which one you use, as long as you are consistent, you're identifying your radius and your diameter, that way you don't make an oopsie doopsie. Thank you guys so much. I hope you have a great night.